Thursday, May the 2nd, 2024, and we quickly whiz into another month. Spring will soon be history, which is unfortunate from my perspective. As you can see, I'm out in a place called Manea, which I was incorrectly pronouncing as Manea, but Manea, Cambridgeshire, Fenland, one stop down from March, which is where I was a few months ago doing a walk. So I've been chasing the sunshine today, of which there's very little in the southeast, but fingers crossed. It's actually quite balmy up here, around 20 degrees forecast at its peak. Bit of a northerly breeze just to set against that. So looking forward to a cracking short walk today, really, 8.5, 9 miler to an RSPB site. Name escapes me, but I'll get there. Plenty of crows here, as you can hear, in the trees next to the little halt. It's another halt station, this, a bit like Bow Brick Hill. But these walks are always a bit risky because you never know what you're going to get in a flat, fairly mundane terrain. So this could be quite a short video. I know there's not many there aren't any churches on it, so lunch will be had at a picnic table, hopefully at the RSPB site. It's early walk as well today, around 11:20 at the minute, being fairly local to me, just the hour-and-a-half train ride. So let's crack on, see what awaits. Still got signals and signal boxes on this line, which accommodates the Stansted Express, cross-country trains from Stansted round to Birmingham, I believe, via Peterborough, Leicester. And that little shed over there is actually the waiting room. So here I am, just leaving the station. It's around 11:36, and as you can hear, the gates are about to come down. Just talking to a chap on the platform who's waiting for an old heritage train to come past, an old, what was a Deltic, class 55 I think he said. So that would have been nice to capture, but no guarantee that I'll get it. Now heading down Station Road for around a mile, I think it is. Quite an urban section to this walk initially. Well, it's not urban, but it's a village. Very busy freight route this, down to Felixstowe, ultimately. Testing the kind of sun shield on this camera today, because I am in low-lying areas and sun could be a bit of an interference, so I don't know if this video will come across as being a bit darker. Let's see. There, and as you can see from that road sign, RSPB Welches Dam was the name I was trying to remember, and likewise you can see that March is not too distant. Passing the local primary school, almost in the village centre. Village sign. Opposite the Rose and Crown, we come off the high street to go left down Park Road. There is a handy store very close to the pub, en route as well, which is just as well because I didn't have any sandwiches with me earlier. Didn't have any opportunity to acquire them, so a nice Ploughman's has been purchased. Passing the parish cemetery. As I said earlier, I don't think there's a church here, but there is a cemetery. And opposite the cemetery you have some playing fields with toilets by all accounts. The few notes that come with this walk make reference to a lake. I guess, judging from these willows, that is here hidden in the undergrowth, or possibly been filled in and is now this car park. Either ways, I can't see it. But I can see straight road ahead of me there, which we now follow. Believe that to be a whitethroat. Usually heard on hawthorn bushes. Clearly out here, very few of those. So he's making best use of what's available. And incidentally, I would add, I saw my first group of swallows, 4 of them, on April the 24th locally. That's quite late, by about 2 weeks I would say. And it was quite a nippy day. Anyway, they are here, so summer is somewhere nearby. And unusual to see them before the martins. But such is the world at the moment, I guess. They're the large ones. So, can't remember if that's Buick. Still can't identify my swans. Anyway, there's 2 of them in the field there, making use of the facilities. Must be a dike or something behind them. Still quite misty. The raised bank on the horizon, I believe, is the rail line that I came on from Ely. There's the dike, full of sediment and agricultural pollution, no doubt. So as you can see, the reserve is to my left, which will be my return journey. A song thrush over there somewhere. But for now, we're turning right towards Chatteris, and shortly after coming off the road, yeah, about 100 yards on, join this bridleway. And there's your instructions. Amazingly sultry today up here, but I'm not complaining. It's better than getting wet through the rain. You may be able to hear the skylarks now, and I just saw a larger bird of prey being bombed by a smaller bird of prey. Couldn't identify either or capture them on film, unfortunately. But yeah, according to the brief notes, these fields are home to swans of all varieties during the winter months, or hoopers in the winter. Buick and Mute join them, coming over from Siberia, etc. Or that should be resident mutes are joined by Hooper and Buicks. Occasional jet noise as well, coming out of nearby Lakenheath. Potatoes, I think. And as you'd guess from these reeds, just seen a reed bunting. Again, unable to capture it on film, unfortunately. Hares in this field as well, and a variety of deer that I've never seen before. Wasn't a munkjack. Could have been a Chinese water deer, because I haven't seen this type of deer previously. I'll have to check it out again. Shame I couldn't get it on camera, it was just too quick. Passing a well fortified private fishing lake here, electric fence round it, courtesy of Westfield Farms. There's one of those deer, just see it bounding off. Hasn't got the markings of anything I've seen before. Lost it now, there it is. Well, it seems this pile of rubbish used to be Boone's farm on the map and referred to in the notes. No longer, but in any case, there's a footpath marker ahead of me where we take a left. Pile of rotting onions. Such a shame that the wet conditions have resulted in us losing so much produce and thus adding to inflation. So here we go, take a left here. And interestingly, we're about -7 below sea level at this point, per the notes. Chaffinch there in the background. Not quite sure what that is. From the way it was singing, I thought it was the whitethroat. As you can hear, there's another in the background. Maybe a flycatcher of some kind. I'll have to check that. Plenty of flies around me anyway. So that sandy lane that I've just come from was called Barnes Drove. Manea over there, or Manea over there in the distance. About 3.5 miles into the walk now. Open sky country for those that like this sort of thing. Not my favourite, but it's a reflection of the many different kinds of countryside that we have in this small island. Wonderful. And a surprising amount of wildlife about, considering what I suspect is the use of plenty of chemicals in these fields. Giant farming, agro farms. And the path I'm currently on is Old Mill Drove. So by all accounts, this is an old pumping station where we turn right towards Welches Dam, or you could miss out the RSPB Reserve and take a left straight back into Manea. Well, that's amazing. My first cuckoo of the season. Inappropriate terrain. So here it's called Ouse Washes. That no doubt is the dam. Toilet block here. They are open as well. This must be the picnic table I read about, so I'll come back to that in a second. There's a few more here outside the visitor centre. Donations box here, particularly if you spend a penny. The old chiff chaff in the background. So I have carried you on eagle's wings and brought you here to me. Exodus 19.4. Various other messages on this table as well. So what a lovely place to have a bit of grub. There is said chiff chaff. 4 1/4 miles in, just gone 20 past 1, so a relatively early one for me. Let's get tucked in. Okay, just gone 2, lunch has been had. Lovely little position this. Did hear a bird whilst having my lunch that I just could not identify, and couldn't get Bird Nerd out, the app, quick enough to identify it, but it had a real strong voice, single note. I'm going to go and see if it's listed on the board of recent sightings. Might alert me. It's clouded over a bit and the wind's picking up worryingly, although the good old Met says this afternoon's going to be sunny intervals. Information panel here about the Ouse Washes. Google that if you wish to learn more. Tree sparrows here. Not such a common sight, unfortunately, these days. And there we go. Another swallow for you. My 5th of the season. Shame I didn't get the cuckoo to make the set. Let's go and have a look at the hides. That's the visitor centre. There's the dam, Welches Dam. And we'll be walking alongside that for some distance. Clearly this is all new and would have been done since the walk notes were written, but we don't take this path behind the dam anyway. That goes to the bird hides. Lovely rustic scenery, eh? More hides out this way. Lovely. And as you can hear, an absolutely plethora of bird song out there. Footpath goes off down that way. Not the one I'm taking, mind. And there's another swallow just gone by. So clearly around up here. I'd have thought so with all the flies that are around today. And I've noticed a number of orange tip butterflies amongst the plants. Lovely to see those lovely orange tips. Wonderful. information panel here about the story of Welches Dam, W-E-L-C-H-E-S Dam. Google that for more insight. It's named after Edward Welch. So back at the pumping station and my earlier journey there. We're now headed back towards Manea. It is annoying when they cut so much of this verge back. Must be 9 foot there. Totally unnecessary on a quiet lane like this. Other side as well. So much fauna destroyed. One of the many hides on the opposite bank. That one's Stockdale's hide. And these are opposite some dilapidated properties which don't look that old. Someone's dream has gone pear-shaped there. Strange place to build them as they are in a flood risk area. Talking of which, the maximum height today on today's walk is 15 foot and the lowest -9. Passing the ship in, not sure if that's still in business. Just outside the ship in, don't carry straight on, alongside the river. It's nice to see some probably are they for swifts, quite large. Yeah, hopefully they're for swifts. So our journey actually is beside the ship in here, which I don't think is in business. Continue up the lane. No, it looks like it's long since ceased trading. So here's a large lake. I wonder if this is what I missed earlier because of the vegetation. Don't recall that house, mind you. Yeah, this is Plant Life's No Mow May, and ideally June, July and August as well. But the local authorities just don't listen. I mean, look at this, it's ridiculous. It's hardly the M25, is it? Just don't need to cut back the vegetation like this. What is the point? It's not a visibility issue. Shocking. There he is, the hare. Frozen. Thinking I've missed him. There's a lot of hares around this year, I've noticed. Very few rabbits though. Good to see with the hares. Rabbits will bounce back. Another hide over there, and that river that I was walking alongside earlier is the River Delf, or the Old Bedford River. There is a new Bedford River running parallel to it, not so far away. So back at that junction I mentioned earlier, where I went right and continued up there. So henceforth, it's duplication in reverse. Sun's back out. Glorious. Lovely smell of hawthorn behind me, I believe. Yeah, wonderful. So here we are, just gone 3:30, 3 hours and 8 minutes and 8.5 miles that walk was. So a shorter one for this time of year, but decent weather, that was the main thing. Can't complain about that. Decent walk, as I mentioned previously. Been up this way before, March. So country walking, Manea circular, or Manea circular, completed. And these old crows are still here. Good grief. That was quite a lot of road walking, or quiet country lane walking, even though it wasn't written by Phoebe Taplin. Somebody else wrote that one, but nonetheless, decent day's outing, nice and peaceful. Till the next time.